6 months ago, I became a mom for the second time. I thought if I have been through this motherhood once, this time would feel easier. I knew about sleepless nights, breastfeeding struggles, baby milestones, and everything people tell you to expect. I went through that once. But 6 months later, I understand that experience doesn't mean that you don't learn something, or doesn't it mean that it becomes much easier. At least for me, not. Although I'm mom for the second time, I still have lessons, and today I want to share them with you. I already make for myself coffee because baby sleepless nights make me want to drink it much more often. So make for yourself, drink coffee, tea, or if you're pregnant, then remember to drink water because it's so important during this time and actually also after that. And let's start. When I became pregnant second time with Olivia, this time I felt that I'm much more prepared. Of course, I already have my past experience because I already had baby, although it was 8 years before and a lot of things I already forgot, but still I remember how it felt. So I knew about sleepless night, about baby milestones. Yes, I need to recap some things and read about them books or watch some videos or go to the courses. But also this time I knew how I might feel. Also I knew what is postpartum anxiety, baby blues, postpartum depression. I had already experienced difficult emotions after my first birth. Part of me thought that if I knew how I might feel or I knew all those things, that I would avoid them. To be honest, with my first daughter 8 years ago, when I was pregnant, I more focused on baby. So I was more reading how to take care of baby because I was so scared what I will do with this little human being. And so my whole focus was to the baby. And of course, sometimes somewhere I heard this information how I might feel as the mom, that there are some hormones, what spikes, and you have some interesting mood swings. But on the time 8 years ago, there wasn't so much information about postpartum depression, anxiety, baby blues. People was talking about these like hormones and emotions, but people didn't talk so directly how they are speaking now. And when I was pregnant now, I was browsing information, and of course my social media algorithm catch that I am pregnant and show me a lot of different content, and I saw that how felt women who have postpartum depression or anxiety or baby blues. I think now it's very good that women are speaking really honestly about their postpartum experience, how they are feeling, what they are struggling, because at that time when I was pregnant there wasn't such kind of information. And when I became a mom and I had all those baby blues, that really depressed mental state, I don't know did I have depression or not, because I didn't went to specialists because I didn't knew what with me. So I felt that maybe just my life changed because I'm in this new period when I have new role, that I lose all myself, so all that mental thinking. But now when I went to this pregnancy, I already knew what all those things what women can feel. When I was pregnant, I thought that now I know how I might feel. I read about all those emotions, state what women have, that I can avoid that, or that it will be easy. That wasn't the truth, that I got also baby blues. Also they overlap with my breastfeeding struggles what I had. And I remember, I think it was like day maybe 6 or 7 when I got my baby blues, and also breastfeeding was so challenging, and I cried and I thought that I am the worst mom what are in here because I can't feed my baby, because everyone is telling how it's nature to breastfeed and I can't do that. And so there was such huge guilt. But in this state I was for 2 days I think, and then I just analyze situation. Okay, breastfeeding, yes, it's not perfect, but also I know that during that time I will have these hormone peak or when it's dropping down, and I will have this baby blues. And so I knew that my mental state are also impacted of that. I'm not bad mom, it just my hormones is playing this mind game with me. And also during this time I experienced postpartum rage, and so I felt so angry. Somewhere I was rude when I was speaking with my husband and with my daughter, and honestly I felt guilt that sometimes I can be so rude to them, because I knew that something is not good with me, that I'm not in my good behavior. So what is good that also my husband to recognize that something is wrong with me. When I was pregnant, I make some screenshots of posts when I was reading about postpartum anxiety and depression, and sent him and told him if he sees that I have some signs, that let me know, because maybe I won't see them. And so also in this situation I think that my husband was the first who was speaking aloud that something isn't good. And then I should agree with that my mental state wasn't good. And so in this postpartum, knowing that what I might experience, it doesn't make it easier. I still had baby blues, I still had postpartum rage, but this time, so I made more steps. So I went to the therapy and it helped me a lot. So I was speaking about why I have this emotion, what is not working, how I make my postpartum more pleasant for me. And also was speaking with my husband, so how we can make my environment much more easier for me. Knowing what I have, this knowledge, it helped me to ask for help, not just be in this position that I think that everyone around me is bad and I'm feeling so sad, so angry. It helped me to seek this help, to speak aloud, to go and speak with my husband, to go to the therapy. And looking back, I realizing that knowledge doesn't protect us. It doesn't mean that if we know what we might have, that we can somehow avoid all those feelings. Yes, maybe in some cases we can escape something more faster and can be treated more faster, but still we can feel all those sad, anxious, all the rage and anger and fear during our postpartum period where we are recovering. But knowing that just helps to realize that I'm not broke. I just need help. I need support, that I can't do it myself. So first lesson, sometimes being prepared doesn't stop from the storm. It just helps you to find shelter soon. This one maybe will be more valid for those who become second-time mom, because for me it was like really new experience. It's about my oldest daughter. Once I started to feel emotionally better, I understand that. That actually really surprised me how I can even thought something of that. But let me explain that. So the day when we went back home from the hospital, I saw my daughter and I wasn't seeing her for 4 or 5 days. When I look at her, she felt so grow, because I think we as parents, we don't see the small changes in our kids. We see just bumps and it feels like overnight they are just growing and something's changed in them. And when I come back from the hospital, I felt that. My daughter is 8 years old, and a few months before Olivia was born, she started to go to the school and back to home by herself. So she felt ready, already second grade. Also, we living in the city, what are safe, and school is close to our home, so it was fine that she is going and she is ready. That was important. And so I felt that, oh, she's going to school. She felt dependent of me. So now she looked like big sister. So she wasn't anymore that small girl who I remember was going to the kindergarten. Now she was like big sister who is going to the school. For months, I think I was unconsciously treated her that way. That I thought that she needs to be more responsible, that she needs to understand things by herself, that she don't need me maybe so much, that there was so much like she should things. She knew she need to behave more responsible. She need to, I don't know, make homeworks by her own without my help. She know how to react or things. So, but she hadn't. She was still a child. She still need our cuddles. She still need my patience. She still need that I help her, that I explain her some things. She still needed my support. Becoming a sister hadn't made her suddenly grow overnight, although it looked for me that way for those few months. And actually, I think maybe I won't even recognize it so soon if there wasn't that one situation. Don't remember anymore what exactly was the situation, but I remember when something happened, I thought that how you don't understand that. So it was my first thought. I remember her crying, and at that moment something clicked, and I understood that she's still a child. And I think that helped me to stop being in this mindset that she are grown, that she understand everything. And I started back treat her like child, because she only 8 years old. She don't know everything. She don't know how to react to all situations. She still maybe don't knows what is in some cases good or bad. Still, sometimes I need to remind that to myself, that she are still child. If even she, at some cases, she wants to be more independent from me and for that, but she still our child and she still needs support and advice. So lesson number 2, having a younger child doesn't make your oldest child less of a child. One area where I felt enormous pressure was my breastfeeding. My first breastfeeding experience with Paula wasn't great. So I was able to breastfeed only her for 2.5 months, and then she was purely formula baby. So this time, of course, I wanted to have better breastfeeding experience with my second daughter. This time I felt that I prepared much better. I read the books, I went to the courses, I watched videos, a lot of different videos. So I thought that it will come much more easier for me, because I don't want to give up. You know how people say that this is natural. Biology side, it feels like natural, it's come for our body. But from behavior side, it's not so natural. When you become mom, you suddenly don't have this knowledge how to feed your baby, how to nurse your baby. And also your baby doesn't have this knowledge. They don't know also how to latch naturally. And yes, there are some cases when it's come naturally for mom, then it clicks together and it's perfect match. But there are so much stories from women when they're struggling, where there's so much nuance, that when this breastfeeding becomes so challenging. And so here I think I had expectation, one for my own side, that I wanted this time this breastfeeding journey work, and also from the society side, that you have this strong pressure that if you're not breastfeeding your baby that you are bad mom. But that's actually not true. I was fighting for it, but I ended up with triple feeding. So I was breastfeeding, I was pumping, and I was also giving formula additionally. And there was moments when I feel that everything is working. Then again, I felt that my milk's not enough and I need to give more formula, and I was power pumping, and I was power pumping at the night when my baby's sleeping. So journey was hard. I think I will make just different video about my breastfeeding experience. But what I want to tell in this video, that I have this pressure to myself from the desire. I want to have this milestone for at least feeding my baby 6 months, and I didn't make it. I think it was like 5 or 5.5. And also from society that you need to do that. That And I think that if my milk supply didn't drop by itself, I would just trying to push it harder and harder. But when my milk supply eventually dropped after everything that I tried to make it more, I felt so much disappointment. I wanted to reach these 6 months so I can feel that I did everything what I could, that I tried, that I don't feel this guilt. But after a few weeks passed, I didn't feel disappointed anymore. I actually felt relief. Can you believe that after all those feelings, I felt relief? Because let's be honest, triple feeding, it's hard. It was exhausted. So each time I need to think when I need pump, because I'm this schedule, in this timer. And it was such relief, because breastfeeding or pumping, it's not only about this mechanic work what you do. It's not only about that you are feeding with your boob baby. Sorry that maybe it sounds too rude, but also it's about mentally this overload, especially if it's are hard and challenging. Those all thoughts what you have, that you compare yourself, are you good or bad if you're breastfeeding or not. So there's so much going on. So it's not only about this physical experience. And so after those few weeks when I felt this relief, I understand that I'm not grieving about that I ended breastfeeding journey, that I can feed my baby with milk, but I feel I was grieving this desire that I need feed my baby myself, that I need to nurse, breastfeed my baby, no matter what it takes. Even if emotionally it's hard for me, that I need to be strong. And so lesson from here, sometimes letting go isn't about giving up. Sometimes it's choosing yourself too. Every time I learned Olivia's routine, she learned a new skill, I needed to adapt. Her sleep changes, her feeding habits changing, she starts to roll over or sitting or standing, and I need to adapt constantly. And although I'm mom for the second time, and here I can play only this gap with 8 years, that maybe I don't remember so much about my first daughter and her behaviors and how much she was changing. Although I think her progression was a bit slower because she more visualized baby. So maybe I felt that my first experience was much slower. I used to think that motherhood would eventually settle the rhythm and that this rhythm will be gentle. So at the first time, yes, there will be struggle because you don't understand baby clues, but then you start to understand your baby, how it behaves, what are sleeping, eating clue, and then you just enjoy next month. Then maybe there's sleep progression, also struggling for the while, then in past, then you have this moment when you enjoying spending time with your baby, the baby starts to roll over, so also there's some challenges with the patterns. But after that you also have some time period when you can enjoy this time, this progress what you already made. I'm not sure are it for all moms or it was my experience with Olivia, because even with Paula I don't remember feeling that way, but with Olivia it felt that first month was challenging because we don't know each other. I don't understand her behaviors, her clues. Then I started to understand. Then she have stomach pains, then she have sleep progression, then she starts rolling over, then she starts to sit, then she starts to crawl, and there wasn't any moment when I can just feel that, oh, now I can relax, now it's time for me to relax. No, every was just escalating fast. Now when I'm looking how each thing was going fast, I'm understanding that for this rhythm what you are creating during the day with a baby or how you're acting at it, it's all about adaptation. That it's not that you are the same person, that you are behaving with your baby and reacting on your baby in the same way, but each time that you are adapting, that you're learning something new, there is some new skill from the baby or some new reaction or behavior or emotion what baby give you, and you try to learn how to react back, how to behave yourself. So it's constant learning, it's constant change of the rhythm, what you and your baby and overall your whole family are living in. And so lesson here, the only constant in motherhood is change, whole story. Nothing else become much more clear there during these months. Even having a second time mom, I still caught myself comparing. And this time I wasn't comparing my baby with other babies. So that I was doing with my first daughter. So I was comparing her development with another babies because I think that other babies are developing much faster, much better. And I have this anxiety that maybe something wrong because I felt that I'm doing something wrong. But this time I knew that each baby developing in their own rhythm. And I knew that if I have some questions about my baby development, I will go to pediatrician and ask, is everything okay? But this time I still compare, and I compare myself with other moms. So during this postpartum, for me it felt that I'm stuck, that I'm not doing anything, that from other side I was in this breastfeeding struggling journey. I was tired, and I still am tired. I feel maybe a bit also stuck, that I don't see that I'm doing something, because when I look at other moms in the social media, some of them are working on the social media accounts and have their huge progress. Some of them are going to yoga class and workout, some are having new hobbies, some of them are traveling. So it feels that every mom is living their life, but I'm here and I don't saw that I have this progress. One thing what helped me, and it was my previous experience. So when I became mom for the first time, of course I was still struggling because I didn't knew how to behave, because everything are for first time. Paula was reflux baby and colics baby, so it was struggling during the day. After each feeding she was fuzzy and it was hard, but still she was sleeping through the night. From second month I have enough sleep, and also my mom was helping. Maybe once per week she will take Paula for a few hours, and that time I could spend with myself. I could, clean house, learn something, just relax. So I had time for myself. And now with Olivia, from one side it's easier, so she not calling baby and she don't have reflux, but she are more, I will say, Velcro babies. So she wants to be with me, she wants that I hold her. Also she don't want to spend time with other people, so she starts like really crying even if my husband holds her. So I'm her number one person. She are still waking up 2 times per night, and sometimes it's even 5 times per night. So I don't have good sleep. Even if my husband take night shift time to time, I still don't have this good rest. Also my mom can't take her when I'm not with Olivia. She's starting to cry, and it will be stressful for her, for my mom, and for me knowing that. So I'm just with her all this time, and I don't feel that I have these huge energy levels to do something. Looking back at my own experience, what I have with my both girls, when on the one side my baby sleep well and I have support as my mom, from another side when now my baby is sleep poorly and I don't have this support from my mom. And when I looked on other women, other moms in social media, I asked myself, do they have support? Because yes, some of moms don't tell that, but if I see that mom is going out to meet her friends or some, I don't know, exhibition, whatever, without baby, that's mean that her baby is with someone else. And that actually helps, because I think when we are looking on other moms, we're not analyzing, do they have some support? Are their baby sleep through the night? What energy levels are they? Because even without babies, we each personally have our own energy level. So someone have them naturally higher, someone lower. And if you have on the top of that baby, and baby who sleeps poorly, or baby who wants to be stuck with you all the time, that you will have different experience. So now when I'm looking at those moms, yes, sometimes I still feel a bit jealous, but also by understanding that they have another environment, they have another support system what I don't have, and so I can't compare myself with them. And so lesson here are, we can't compare ourselves with other moms because we're never comparing the same circumstances. So comparing can never really be fair. This final lesson isn't about children, it's about more relationship with your partner. Your partner can't read your mind. First, my husband is really supportive, so he sometimes cook, he helps me with house, and also now I think he takes even more care about our oldest daughter, so he plays with her more. Also when she went to the school at the mornings, he made for her breakfast, so I actually can feel this support from him. But during the first months of postpartum, I still felt angry on him, and it wasn't because he not helping, but I was expecting him to behave or do something without telling him. So I was expecting that he will read my mind. I actually remember one situation. It was like first months. I was breastfeeding Olivia and she fell asleep on me, and I have empty water bottle and I was thirsty. I was expecting that he will refill my bottle. On the time he was working from home, and he went to living room where I was, and he didn't ask me do he need to refill my water bottle, and I was so angry on him. And now it seems like so funny why I didn't tell him, because at that moment I was expecting that he will refill my bottle water, because he know how it's important to drink water while you are breastfeeding your baby. So in my mind it's all naturally set up, but I think for him it wasn't so easy. And also he was working, and I was expecting that still his focus will be at me. But I should be honest that when I was working, yes, from one side it feels that you are sitting all time on the computer, but sometimes you have so many meetings that you even don't have time to eat proper lunch. When I was in my postpartum period, I forgot all those things what I experienced when I was working. So my focus was only on me, what I want, why he don't understand me, why he doesn't read my mind. And so he didn't refill my water bottle, and at the evening I was angry on him, on the next morning I was angry on me. And now it sounds so silly, like really silly to think about that. I don't remember how long I was angry on him about this small situation before I told him. But when we discussed that, I understand that I should have been told him that when he went through the room, can you please fill my water bottle? And he would do that. And also I think that these all miscommunications, it doesn't need to happen about like some large things. It's actually, I think in postpartum happens with these small moments, like this water bottle, or that maybe you was expecting that your partner will make your meal, or I don't know, some other small situation. I think all issues are happening through these all small things. What in my situation I was silenced because I thought that he need to know, and it just was growing bigger and bigger, and I felt bigger and bigger anger in me. And only when we start to speak that I want you to behave in this way, or I want you to know that I feel this way, then also our relationship become more smoother. Also, one thing what we started since third month of my postpartum, we started to have again our weekly date nights. Now they don't look perfect, they all time are at home, and also baby are next to us, but Paula are in her room playing. And although these weekly date nights, they're not perfect, I still am really happy that we know that we have them. So each Wednesday we have them. And yes, sometimes I don't feel that I have energy for that. I will better, I don't know, watch some TV show or spend my day alone. But it's something what we do even if we feel that we don't have energy, because during this time we talk with each other. And we're not talking about kids, about Paula's school or baby poops or eating or something else. We are speaking about how are we feeling, what we want, what are we doing new, or what we want to do or try, or what we read recently or watch. So we are speaking about ourselves, about interesting, and being getting information what are doing other person. Or when we don't have energy for that, then we just watch some TV show. But each Wednesday we have this time for us, and I believe that it's really important, because it's so easy during postpartum period to forget that you have partner and treat each other like roomie, because you both are tired. And these Wednesdays what we have, these date nights what are like few hours, they help us reconnect, because before we are parents we are partners. And so lesson in here, good communication doesn't happen because you've been together for the years. It happens because you keep choosing it. So looking back at these 6 months, understanding, of course I learned something new about babies, about feeding, baby clues and milestones again. But also I learned so much. I learned how to balance this new life that we are now with the baby, how to balance my emotions, how to again speak with my partner, not waiting when he will read my emotion, how to treat my oldest daughter properly, and how to take care of myself. So during this time I helped to learn to ask help. I learned to let go expectations, how to stay flexible, how to be kinder to my child, to my partner, and to myself. If you somewhere in your own postpartum journey, I'd like to know what is the lesson what you learned in your own motherhood journey. Maybe you have similar experience as me, or maybe there's something new. Please share with the comments so other mom can learn and know what to expect. And thank you for being with me so far in this video. I hope this information was valuable for you, that you're not scared right now, that on the opposite side you are maybe more inspired and you took some information how you can behave so you don't make my mistake. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.